there are people that are going out canoeing and kayaking, do not harass the gators. I mean, if you see a couple of little gators out, people are trying to get as close as they can. I saw this the other day. A couple of people in some small, the little like punga kayaks, which are the, they're 12-footers, and they're getting up in the shallow water, paddling up close. Mama's there. Mama is there watching. And I'll tell you what, you get up too close to these, they can move at 30 miles an hour for a short distance.
On land, faster in the water, I think.
Yeah, and if that distance is where you're at, you're going to be in some trouble. Now they're not gonna kill you, but the thing is though, they're going to go ahead and give you memories you're going to have nightmares with, that type of thing. Like what Betty White was in. What was that one? Lake Placid.
Oh, yeah.
Memories like that. So anyway, out in the Peace River out there, people going out fishing. There's a bunch of catfish out that way, but because the catfish are in, and this is way, way, way early to see tarpon, but they are out there. Big tarpon coming in right now. You're going to start hearing about these tarpon coming to the pass because our weather.
Why?
Our weather is a lot warmer this year
Okay.
than in years past. I mean, we were just talking about that. Last year at this time, we're in the 50s. We're in the 80s right now. That's a 30-degree difference. Your water temperature out in the Gulf is about 10 degrees warmer than it normally would be this time of year. It's been really pretty nice. It's not warm enough for us to go swimming in, but people out there fishing, they're still catching lots of the snapper out there. Now, up in the Peace River, they're called mangrove snapper.
And you need circle hooks for those, right?
Yeah, that's if you're fishing a reef. Now, they don't say reef fish. If you're fishing a reef, I mean, it's a whole different story up in that area. I mean, people up in our area use pretty much whatever they have, all right? You should be using circle hooks. They're not really pushing it, that kind of a thing. So, but ladyfish up there, too. Those of you that like action on a light rod, ladyfish are, pound for pound, one of the best game fish in the world. They're like tarpon, and in fact, the name of the ladyfish, the nickname is the poor man's tarpon. People go out there, instead of getting tarpon gear, which can range to thousands of dollars, they're using the smaller, lighter tackle. The fly rod weights of around 5 to 6 weight with a ladyfish on the end is going to give you as much excitement or even more than a tarpon will.
Wow.
And plus, you're not busting your muscles a lot, but these things will work out. They're very well known for as soon as they get hooked, just like a tarpon, coming up out of the water, doing a tail walk, and giving you some good action. Snook action is still really good up that way, and there's still a movement out right now to go and change the name of those to the racing mullet with the stripe
Racing
down
mullet
the
with a
side.
stripe, yeah, for people from Oklahoma.
Well, there's a lot of, in fact, we had people from Oklahoma, now that you mention that. These guys that I told you about a couple of weeks ago had come by the boat with the Oklahoma, they're back again, okay? They're going out to get more of those really, really tasty fish. And I said, don't get caught. I mean, just don't even, I'm telling you, they'll take everything you got,
And
they're going out and getting again.
And tell them the real name of that fish was called the soapfish until they took the skin off of it.
Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, but pretty good. The fishing is good up that way. In general, bait people are using, if you're using any kind of live bait or frozen bait, is shrimp. Fish and Frank has shrimp guaranteed to catch fish or die trying.
All right, thanks, Frank. Tom, you got the gas prices in the area, so people are going to go fill up their boats. But usually people should get the ethanol gas for their boats, right?
Yes. Well, unless your boat is made for that, unless your engines and your fuel tank, and what happens is a lot of the older boats are made with a fiberglass fuel tank. All right, the resin, not the fiberglass itself. Fiberglass is actually fibered glass. It's held together with what's called resin, either polyurethane resin or like an epoxy resin. The epoxy isn't as susceptible to it, but the polyurethane, yes, the polyurethane stuff, this is dissolved by alcohol. If you're working with this stuff, the way you get it off your hands is you take alcohol and rub it on your hands and it comes off. Well, it does the same thing to the inside of your tank, and all that gummy stuff goes through your lines, and you can take a $20,000 engine and totally ruin it by using that fuel.
Well, it also ruins the little plastic valves,
grommets,
and stuff like
everything
that.
else in there,
Everything,
right. No, not only that. The other big problem, most people don't use their boats a lot. And if you put the ethanol gas in your boat and you let it sit there, it actually attracts water. You've all seen your glass, you know, nice cold beverage of some kind, sitting there with sweat dripping down on the outside of it. All right, well, what happens is when the air heats up and cools down, you get condensation outside and on the inside of your fuel tank if it's not completely full. Well, that condensation drips down inside the fuel tank. And it, because there's alcohol in there, gasoline and water don't mix. However, if you take ethanol and add it to your gas, you've heard of dry gas?
Yeah.
If you have water in your tank, you put this in there, what it does is it mixes with the water and it mixes with the gas. So it makes both of these mix together. But it's still the tiny molecules, it's still H2O, and what it does is it makes the fuel collect more water, which is not a good thing.
No.
So,
Tommy, gas prices in the air, what's the lowest?
The lowest Hippo's Sands Club at 332, and then the head station up there on Kings Highway and Tesillo Boulevard right here in front of the station. It's at 337. Also the racetrack at Sand Hill and Kings Highway. Murphy over at Walmart is 337. The 7-Eleven is 337. And the highest in the area that I can see right now is the Citgo station out on McCall Road and Sailor's Way, 349. They're always kind of high out that way.
Yes, they are.
Anyway, so.
7:45 in the morning, Tommy's got a weather forecast right now and traffic.